When I have a conversation with an artist or a producer, I'm not having a conversation with an artist or a producer. I'm having a conversation with an individual, a human being, and a personal business, I would hope. That doesn't always seem to be the case. I feel like people force me to talk to them and speak to them as an artist or as a producer because they don't see the bigger picture and understanding that, anyone can be an artist or a producer. All I've got to do is write down some lyrics and make a track. I'm an artist now. All I got to do is put a few drum loops and some samples together and I'm a producer now. What I'm looking for is the individual, because the individual that I'm speaking to is going to be like no other. There's going to be something unique about them, and while there may be something unique in their art, we're never going to know if they can't put themselves across as a unique individual in the first place. See, when I'm talking to an artist or a producer, I'm essentially just talking to their alter ego. They're coming from a place of passion. They're coming from a place of what they want to do, their big vision and everything like that. But that's not always going to work. Why? Because some of these situations require logic. Now, an alter ego of someone, because everybody has an alter ego when it comes to their art, whether they realize it or not, whether it's the bias in the music they have or the bias in the image that they've created or whatever. I'm not talking to the person 100%. At least I'm not talking to the person as they are right here, right now. I'm talking to the person that they wish to be or hope to be one day. And that means that we can never have conversation at the level we're at, because I'm talking to someone who's living in the future but hasn't done what it takes to get there yet. Now, ideally, if an artist or a producer wanted to be like that, then they need to have someone around them with that kind of logic. So a manager, for example, a manager is going to be working with logic. They're going to be going by numbers, they're going to be going by facts, they're going to be going by statistics. This is something that an artist or a producer aren't usually willing to do because of the dream, the vision. Now, not everybody has a manager, in which case that artist and that producer needs to be their manager too. So they need to move in a logical way. However they feel about their music and what they do with it, that's cool. But when it comes to doing business, when it comes to having conversation to push things forward, we need logic, we need statistics, we need numbers. If I'm considering you for an opportunity and all you can tell me is check out your mixtape and how dope you are and how dope you're gonna be, I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna say, but what's your numbers? How much money are you making off this? How much traffic are you getting to your website? How much engagement are you getting on your social media? I don't care where you think you're gonna be. We all think we're gonna be somewhere. We all got this big grand vision, but what can you offer right now? What's actually working? What are you actually doing? And it's not to bring people down from the clouds and bring them away from their vision at all. Dream big. You've got to understand that there's gonna come a time where you need to be realistic. There comes a time where you need to operate with logic. Being the alter ego, the artist that's like, everybody check out my music, isn't gonna cut it all the time. You need to keep that for yourself when you're making your music and when you're putting your plans together. Everybody's so hungry to get people to listen to their music and to consider them as an artist. But if you look at the people who do make it, we're not necessarily looking at them for their art. We're not necessarily watching them because of their art. We're watching them because of the moves they make, regardless of how good or bad it is. And the example there is we're watching people with trash music and we're sharing people with trash music, and we can all openly accept, yeah, they're trash. But we're still watching them and we're still paying attention to them because they're interesting as a person. They're real hustlers. They're really about some shit and they're really doing some shit in this world. So of course we're going to watch them, and that is why people are going to watch you, not because you're necessarily dope, although it helps. You need to have a certain likability to you, and it's hard to be likable when you're always pushing your music on people, when you're always in people's inbox like check me out, check me out, check me out, when you're always on your newsfeed with your ego telling people they're trash, telling people that you're the best and that you're the king and that you're the god and no one can fuck with you. It's hard to like that. Listen, if you are a stand-up individual, if you go around this world as a unique individual, as a personal business, people are going to check your music off the strength of that. If you go and have an interview and you interest people in that interview, if you share your life and it's interesting, if your state of mind and the things you say is interesting, you will not need to ask a soul to listen to your music. The most you'll have to do is at the end of the interview, let people know where they can find it. The strength of your character is what's going to get people to check that music out at the end of an interview. If you sit through the whole interview the whole time and say, yeah, check me out, yo, I'm a dope rapper, let me spit a bar, and do all this shit, people are going to find you corny. That likability is not going to be there. If you look at some of the people you respect, even people who can rap their ass off, they're not hungry to get a verse off all the time. They're not always in your face trying to rap all the time. They're businesses, they're unique individuals, and that's what's getting them forward. It just so happens that they can rap their ass off. Because I remember back in the day when someone used to rap, we all had time for that shit because hardly anybody rapped. There was only a few people back in the day. If someone was spitting a verse, we'd all stop and we'd all listen. We'd be into that shit. But now where everybody does it, we're just like, oh, shut up. When I was younger in the club and one of my friends was rapping in my ear, I was all about that shit. I was like, oh, you're getting it in. Nowadays, I'm just like, shut the fuck up and let me finish my drink. There's no way you can get stripes for being an artist or a producer anymore because it's oversaturated. And the fallback plan on anything in this world, if you're not going to get attention for the art or the creativity yourself, people are always going to watch you and people are always going to respect you off the strength of character if you do have a strength of character. And you need to be going out there and finding opportunities to show that rather than begging and pleading with people to check out your music. Now, I hope this video helps. Please help me by sharing this video. If you agree, if you disagree, whatever, drop a comment below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, don't get mad, get motivated.